Dr. Sopcich here at the Sopcich Natural Health and Wellness Center, here with our Dr. Bill and Friends with Jaime Brenkus. Jaime is a fitness enthusiast. In fact, he is a guy who has been likened to Jack LaLanne, and I'll let him tell a little bit of the story of Jack and his wife and all that. Jaime has a whole bunch of things going on. He's been on the Dr. Oz show. He has his own well, I guess you're still doing the 8-minute abs, and he's got
still out there.
He's got a new thing called Fit and Delicious coming on. So without further ado, I'm just going to let Jaime take it from here.
Bill, thank you so much for having me, and hello everybody out there. Yes, Bill, I have to tell you, 8-minute abs, we did it. It was actually 27 years ago, if you can believe that, which is just absolutely crazy. And, it was nutty because it was the first time oriented program out there. And we helped millions of people lose millions of pounds and inches. And just a little background, I'm certified through the American College of Sports Medicine as an exercise physiologist. And, more importantly than that, though, I turned 60 in April. So the bottom line is now I'm 60.5 and ready to put the boom back to boomers. And so, when I thought about, doing a program for people my age, I said, why couldn't we go and go right to the godmother of fitness, which is Elaine LaLanne. And Bill, I have to tell you, and I see your, there you go. You can see that. We wrote a book. It's called If You Want to Live, Move, with Jack LaLanne actually came up with that saying. And so Elaine, by the way, guys, Elaine is going to be 96 in January. Is that crazy? 96. So we wrote the book about 1.5 years ago, putting the boom back into boomers. And it's just great. It's just a lot of good reading. But the idea is that, Jack LaLanne had a great line. And he said, if fitness is king, nutrition is queen. When you put them together, you get a kingdom. And I believe in that wholeheartedly. I have to tell you that's sort of the premise of our show. And you can see Jack in the background there, and you can see our chef in the background for Fit and Delicious. And the idea was basically to put and combine that unbeatable combination of fitness and food and have a little bit of fun like Jack used to do. And I always tell people, I hold this towel in my hand, guys, because there's 2 things you can do with this towel. Number one, you can throw it in, like throw in the towel and give up on your hopes and your dreams, or you can use it to wipe the sweat off your face. And that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk about fitness and food and getting results. So that's the main thing. And I just have to tell you, there's an old saying that I coined a little while back. I will not let age change me. I will change the way I age. And I think that's really important to understand for your viewers right now, because, just because you're, 50, 60, 70, whatever age, it doesn't mean that's the age you have to be right now. I mean, your chronological age there, yes. But the bottom line is if you do, some of the things that we tell you to do and the strategies and keep yourself fit, healthy, and strong, there's no doubt that you have a good chance of doing 3 things. That's what boomers want. They want to, number one, they want to look younger, right? Isn't that what we want to do? We want to look younger, we want to feel better, and we want to live longer. So those 3 things right off the bat. And Bill, I have to tell you, I think the biggest thing, though, we all live hurried, hectic lifestyles. And the biggest thing, unless I'm wrong, guys, it's time. That's the reason why people don't get in shape, because they feel, you know what? I don't have time. They give a million other things. Think about your schedules right now, guys. You're with grandkids, or you're with kids, or you're with your work. You're doing housework. You're doing house, repairs, cleaning, whatever. The bottom line is this: the first thing that gets pushed aside is your fitness, your exercise. Well, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it the next day. He who has no time for his health today will have no health for his time tomorrow. So you think about that in itself. And I know everybody has the excuses. I call them, Bill, I call them the terrible twos. The terrible twos are this: it's too cold, it's too warm, it's too breezy, it's too early, it's too late to go exercise, right? And you can think of a million excuses. And I just feel that's not what we want to do, because you have the time. And if something's important to you, you will make the time. Because I like to just, segment it and say, okay, well, look at just the time itself. We all got the same 24-hour zone, right? but there's 1,440 minutes in each day, which equates out to about 86,400 seconds, you guys. Believe me, I've done the math, okay? 86,400 seconds. And so when I help people, literally millions of people with 8 minutes, that was sort of the mantra, the 8 minutes, right? Everybody's got 8 minutes. So then what happens is 8 minutes becomes 16, then it becomes 24. So you do a double 8, a triple 8, but you just got to do something, because if you rest, you rust, right? And that we know for a fact. So I want people out there right now to say, okay, well, you're saying you don't have time. Well, let's block off your schedules and say, okay, if you look at from breakfast to lunch, that's a block, right? What are you doing during that time? What are your priorities? Where do you actually, because there's a pattern, even if you write these things down, saying, what do I normally do between that time zone? And then from lunchtime to dinner time, what do you normally do? And then from dinner time to bedtime, okay? And if you can't find in just 8 minutes, well then, geez, I don't know. I mean, again, 86,400 seconds, 8 minutes is only 480 seconds. So what do you do with the other 86,000 seconds during your day, to give you a fit, healthy, and strong body? So, I got to tell people, I think the biggest thing is this, to me, fitness is not a destination. It's not a goal that you just check off your list, right? And it's not a sprint to the finish line. To me, it's not even a lifestyle or fad. It's more than a way of life, Bill. I think fitness is a way to live. And I think that's really important for everybody to understand. You have to think about that in itself. And, we like to put the I out of illness and put the we into wellness, right? So you have to put that time, effort, make that commitment to yourself, because you deserve it, right? And so, how do you do that though, and make an actual program that sticks with you? I'm going to tell you, when we did the book with Elaine, she does, we all talk about rituals in the book, because she has about, I think she has 8 things she does in the morning when she gets up, Bill. She has 8 things she stretches and does a whole kind of a routine that takes her a couple minutes. Well, I got to tell you, I do 3 things in the morning, and I got to tell you, listeners and viewers out there, that it's really important. One of the things is this: I like to do a push-up, right? And you guys can do them on the wall. You can do a push-up on the chair, right? Like this. You can do it on the floor. But I want you to do just 10, okay? But to me, exercise is accumulative, right? So if you do 10 every day, okay, right when you get up in the morning, that's 300 push-ups during the course of the month. Now, think about that. That's tremendous. It all adds up. The other thing we do is, I do this every day, is a plank right there, okay? So you just, basically on the floor or on a chair or on a bench, you're just holding your abs in, you're doing a static motion plank. So I do that for 1 minute. You can start off with 30 seconds, right, guys? 30 seconds. Now think about this. If you're doing that for 30 seconds, right, the course of the whole month, that's 15 minutes to get a slimmer, trimmer, tighter waistline. And I'm telling you, it works, because it's an isometric here for your rectus abdominis, and it does it. The other thing I do, 3 things. The other thing is squats, right? Just like you're sitting in a seat, guys. And I gotta tell you, it works your hips, your buns, your thighs. Start off with 20. Doesn't sound like a lot. Every morning, boom, 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 20. Well, guess what? That's 600 for the month. So you see how this works? And you say, okay, well, I'm starting the day off right off the bat. And I'm going to tell you, I know for 100% fact, when you start your day off like that, it does something for you. It's just it's a mindset. The mindset is shifting that, you know what, I'm doing something good for me. And I can tell you this, Bill, as we start to age, this is, of course, 5 pounds of fat, guys out there, 5 pounds of fat, right? Yep. So if we had 5 pounds of muscle in here, it would be literally half of that, okay? Literally half of that, okay? It's more dense. So what does muscle do? Well, more muscle, okay, what it does is it increases your metabolism. It increases, of course, what I have to tell you is, certainly body mass is extremely important, especially with ladies with osteoporosis and so forth. But think about this. When you start talking about muscle, what happens when we age, Bill, it's really crazy. I'm sure you know this, but there's something called sarcopenia, okay? It's kind of a muscle leaking. So that's why you see people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s, and they have some saggy muscles, right? There's really no reason why that has to happen other than you've lost your muscle tissue. So what happens, and ladies, listen up, after the age of 30, you lose 3 to 5% of your body mass, okay, per decade. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot, but guys, after the age of 30, you lose 3 to 5% of your body mass. So by the time you're 60, you might have lost 15, 20% of your body mass. So what does that do in your body? Well, you're looking at your body going, okay, what's happening here? I'm eating the same amount of calories, but now there's fat accumulating in my hips, my buns, my thighs, my lower region of my abs, my triceps. And you're going, well, that wasn't there before. What happened? Well, that's the reason. You've lost muscle tissue, okay? So what we need to do is rev up that metabolism again by doing some type of resistance. You have to have resistance training in there. So important, okay? Resistance. Because what you're doing, Bill, you're getting the afterburn of the muscle tissue, okay? And because fat is just there, it's sitting there, right? It's not metabolically active. But when you put that muscle tissue on, and ladies, don't worry, you're not going to get big muscles ever. So don't worry about that. It's just that you want to tone, firm, define, sculpt the muscles, and you only have to do it 2-3 times a week. Okay, that I can tell you. But more isn't better when it comes to sculpting your body. Better is better. And so we like to certainly do resistance training. We like to do some cardio training. I like to fuse them together as both because it just seems to be the optimum program in the least amount of time. Which, stay tuned, guys. We're going to actually do a little workout where we're going to combine those elements of fitness and components of fitness. So, but that's really important to understand the afterburn of the muscle tissue. Okay.
Just jump in just for a second, and just to also remind people that the fat also increases estrogen production. So it changes how your hormones are, and guys who get more and more fat on them get more and more estrogen. They become more and more feminine.
They start to gain breasts through here. They start to set. I agree, Bill. For sure. And guys for sure can put on that muscle tissue even quicker. So they're really, it doesn't take long to do that. And I don't care if you're 8 or 88, the physics and the exercise physiology behind that works 100% of the time, not 50% of the time. It works 100% of the time. So if you put the effort with this type of program, it's going to work for you guys out there. Trust me, it will. And if you're not moving, you're snoozing, right? So we don't want you to snooze. We want you to get up and move a little bit. If you rest, you rust, right? We want you to keep going in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. And we can do this. And it doesn't take a long time, but you can't just wish for it, Bill. You got to work for it. Okay. You have to commit to be fit. There's no doubt that's important. Consistency to me is the key. There's a couple ways you got to be consistent. Number one, I always go by these rules. I'm big on rules and rituals, but the thing is, never go 3 days in a row without exercising. That's number one. Number two, I want you to work out at least 3 days during the course of a 7-day week. That's pretty good. And I want to tell you the way I start, never miss a Monday, no matter what. Start that week off right, you guys. It puts you on the full steam ahead. And that's for sure. And the fourth thing is this, never ever give up. So you see those things, how you just meld them together, and there's no doubt. And what has to happen is, everybody says, well, geez, if I do this, what's going to happen? Well, number one, you're going to lower your risk for cardio disease, right? Bill, you know that. It's going to improve your blood pressure. You're going to have more coordination out there, guys. You're going to increase your flexibility. You're going to have better posture, right? You stand better. Your abs are tighter. Your back is pushed back and the shoulders are back, sort of like a Marine, right? You're going to lower your risk for arthritis. You decrease your risk for diabetes, extremely important as we age. You're certainly going to have increased energy. We know that for a fact. You're going to certainly decrease your risk for joint problems, right? We know that. You're going to have better balance, so important, so you don't fall. I mean, these things are extremely important. I think too, you're going to increase your cardio endurance, your muscular endurance. You're going to have functional fitness where you're talking about even carrying your groceries, or certainly playing with the grandkids, or maybe walking and working in the garden. You know, these are important things because that's functional, and you'll see things happen in your body instantaneously. So I really encourage people to get out there, move a little bit, but increase the muscle tissue. You have to have some type of resistance. It could be mom's tomato paste. It could be surgical tubing. It could be, you know, water bottles, right? Here's a water bottle. Whatever resistance you need. Some people use books. Even your own body is resistance, but it's important to do that because otherwise, I got to tell you, you know, you can do cardio all day, but you don't get that afterburn doing cardio. You get it during resistance training. And that's what we're looking for, guys. Just a little, 2 times a week with resistance. And at least that's a good start. So
yeah, you know,
I hope that makes sense.
And the research backs you up too, Jamie. It just talks about how when you build your muscle, it's so important for us as we age to enhance not just our functions, but also, as you said before, the metabolic activity. And the other thing that you didn't mention in there is that people who are exercising like this are going to have reduced anxiety and depression too. And I can't tell you, I mean, there's got to be half the people that we see that are on some sort of a mood stabilizing substance.
I bet, Bill. I mean, I think there's no doubt. I mean, chemically, you know, you release endorphins when you exercise, number one. But I think it just puts you, you know, you increase your, not only the mood, but I think the idea too is your self-confidence, your self-esteem. You know, it gives you, I think, that idea of, you know, especially the last couple of years has been tough on people. Let's face it.
Right.
And I think, you know, it empowers you. It's self-empowerment. And there's not a lot of things you can do that you can control. And you can control this every day. When you get up in the morning, do that ritual, do the push-ups, do the squats, do your planks. Okay, do that. It starts your day off right. It gets your mental focus on yourself, keeping you as a priority. I think that's extremely important. I agree, Bill. And because there's a lot of stuff going on out there that it's not good.
and who can't, you know, when you're eating lunch, you know, people sit there and they eat lunch and then they sit there and they're scrolling through their phone, looking at Facebook, or they're sitting there playing Candy Crush. I mean, instead of wasting 15, 20 minutes of something like that, take half of that time, take 8 minutes of it and do, you know, the 8-minute workout like Jamie's going to show you. Absolutely.
And then if you even taking a walk, if you want to do that, just to get out of the house. Right. I was telling everybody that there's six best doctors I know. 1 is sunshine, 2 is water, 3 is rest, 4 is air, 5 is exercise, and 6 is a diet, right? A good, healthy nutrition plan. And to me, that's that power of positivity, right? Those 6 elements. Get out there and move a little bit, get some vitamin D, get some sunshine, especially lately, the Cleveland weather has been good. So I think the idea is true. I do agree that, you know, we've been cooped up long enough. You need to get out. You need to do something good for yourself. And it's something that you can control. There's not many things you can control, but that's something you control by not only seeing if you're going to move that day, or 2, by what you eat. And I think that's important. So I hold here, guys, a fork and spoon, if you could see that. That is your best representation of the best piece of fitness equipment you own, because we can do a lot of damage with these weapons of mass expansion, can't we? So we know that. So that's the fact that I know. And then people say, well, geez, I'm trying to lose some weight. How do I do that? You know, I know everybody tries to go on a diet, though. And I tell you, I think that's a recipe for disaster. And I'll tell you why. You know, to me, when you go on a diet, it's almost the idea that it's deprivation. You have to cut out something that you may enjoy. I want you to just reprogram your mindset here and say, okay, and reshift that to say, no more, less. Let's talk about the word more. Okay, I want you to talk about more. Now I'm talking about more vegetables, more fruits, more whole grains, more healthy proteins, more healthy oils, right? You gotta love olive oil, more water, more movement, and more sleep. So just that mindset, because again, when you talk about less, it's deprivation. We don't want deprivation. We want you to live. We want you to be healthy and fit and strong.
And by the way, Jamie, what are the first 3 letters in the word diet?
D-I-E, it's die, and I agree. It's depressing because what happens is you go on a diet, what do? You have to go off a diet.
Right.
So it's that roller coaster, up, down. You lose some weight, then you put it back on because it didn't focus on the habits. You know, and you got to focus on habits because there's an old saying too, that lean people lead lean lives. And it's their habits, Bill, which make them lean. Right. Cooking, eating, shopping, fitness, and even more importantly, thinking habits. So you almost have to think like a lean person would think. And diet mentality is out the door. So, because there's going to be days where you're not going to be as healthy as you want. And you have to just say, so what? We'll talk about that in a bit. But, you know, everybody asked me, you know, so I turned 60 back in April. And, you know, knock on wood, I've been healthy all my life, thank God. And I've been lean all my life, but I've worked at it. But so they asked me, what kind of diet are you on? I said, no, there's 3 things you got to remember. Eat lean, green, and clean. And I just remember those things. I said, okay, eat lean. That means lean proteins, guys. Lean proteins. Well, what does that mean? Well, it's chicken, fish, turkey, beef, pork, tofu, eggs, right? That's lean, 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 lean. Eat green. I don't care what it is. Eat vegetables as much as you want. They believe me, they fill you up and not out. So eat the vegetables. And then clean is limit the empty calories, the ECs, the cookies, the candies, the sweets, the white sugar stuff. Okay, I didn't say eliminate, I said limit. Okay, so eat clean, lean, and green, and you cannot go wrong with that. So everybody asked me, Bill, you said, okay, protein, protein, protein. You know, what's the story with protein? Well, here's the thing, guys. Everybody, you know, you have to have protein on some level, okay? Because of course it activates, you know, the muscle tissue you want to keep active and so forth. So when you start talking about protein, you want to start getting with portion control. And so I want everybody to look at their hand because that hand right there, your hand is going to be your portion distortion guide, right? We all have portion distortion out there. So when you talk about protein, we want to fit the protein in the palm of your hand. So we're going to use your hand as your portion guide. So that means 3 to 4 ounces. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you got big hands there, Bill. So, but the idea is 3 to 4 ounces fits in the palm of your hand. Now that is the size of a deck of cards. It's the size of a bar of soap. That's your protein size, guys. You know, again, it could be chicken, fish, turkey, beef, pork, you know, tofu, you name it. Okay, but the fact is, now I went to a dietitian. You know, I knew we were going to talk today. So I work with dietitians all the time, guys. So I said, well, how much protein should people, you know, have in their diet every day? So she gave me a guideline. So if everybody wants to figure this out and where they're at, they can figure it out. Again, this is not coming from me. This is coming from a registered dietitian who has written, by the way, 5 books. Kim Tessmer. She's very, very talented. So if you weigh 100 to 130 pounds, you want to be anywhere between 68 and 102 grams of protein for the day. Okay, so let me do that again for you. If you're 100 pounds to 130 pounds, you want to have anywhere between 68 and 102 grams of protein a day. Okay, if you're 130 pounds all the way up to 176 pounds, you want to have 102 all the way to 136 grams of protein. Now, if you're 177 pounds all the way up to 220 and beyond, you want to have anywhere between 136 grams and 170 grams of protein. I got to tell you, that's a lot of protein because here's the thing, you know, a 3-ounce piece of chicken breast, Bill, is about 25 grams of protein. So, wow. I mean, you got to eat a lot of chicken breast to get all those grams of protein. So people are going, well, how do I do this? You know, I certainly, and I still do this to the day, you know, if you have some of those drinks out there, you see some of the drinks that are ready to made protein drinks and stuff, they have 25 grams of protein and 150 calories. You down one of those, I tell you what, at least you got 25 grams right off the bat. And that's not a bad way to go. But the thing is, think about that guideline, okay? I encourage eating real food, don't get me wrong. But sometimes it's hard, especially as you're training, that you want to get all that protein in there, okay? Protein increases what is called satiety or the feeling of fullness. Very important. So if you had just carbs all day long, you guys, your sugar levels would spike and then they crash. We want to have protein, so it just increases that energy to go further, longer. Okay. So you want to fuel your body, don't fool your body. Okay. So then the next thing is your fist. So that's your portion guide, your fist. That's your vegetables on your plate. Okay. So you're looking at your plate, you know, you got your protein, 3 to 4 ounces. Now your vegetables would be the size of your fist. But really, to be honest with you, you can have as many vegetables as you want. Truly, there's really minuscule amounts of calories in vegetables, by the way. It's what you put on them, more or less, unless they're fried. That's a whole different story. So we don't want that. But anyway, this one is one that really kind of hits people home. Cupped hand, your cupped hand, you guys, that is where, which is a half a cup. That's a single serving, by the way, dietitian who just told me all this stuff. So the cupped hand represents your pastas, your rice, your potatoes, okay, your ice cream even, okay, a cupped hand. Now I'm half Italian, Bill. I have to tell you, when is the last time you went into an Italian restaurant in a single serving of a size that big? You'd probably get up and walk out, right? I mean, so we always want bang for our buck when it comes to portions, okay, especially at restaurants. And think about when restaurants give you a little more portions, whether it's pasta, whether it's rice, maybe fill you up on tortilla chips or bread. It's cheap. Those carbs are cheap for them to give you more, okay? You don't get extra portions of meat, right? Nope. Normally not. So it's the portions of carbs that'll get you. So again, think about that. Cupped hand is a half a cup, which is 1 serving size. Now, if you want, let's say like, I say tortilla chips or crackers or potato chips, you put both hands together, cup both hands like this. That's about 1.5 ounces. Boom. That's a single serving size. What I would recommend, putting that in a bowl, get the bag of potato chips, wrap them up, put them back in the pantry. You got half a chance when you do that. If you get the bag out and you're watching your favorite movie and you're just, right, exactly, mindlessly, right, Bill, eating. You don't know how many calories you're taking in. It's a tough road at that point, okay? So that's your snacks. Your thumb, okay, your thumb right here, that's your fats. That's your 1 tablespoon. That's things like salad dressing or sour cream or let's say peanut butter, which is a fat, by the way, which is a good fat, monounsaturated. That in itself is 1 tablespoon. Now your thumb nail, your thumb tip right there, that's where your teaspoon is. Things like mayo, margarine, butter. That's where that would go. So there, you see how your hand could be your portion guide, right? So if you do that, you think, okay, well, that seems simple enough. Well, what's a typical meal? Let's say you go out, you have a piece of salmon, 3 to 4 ounces. You have your broccoli or your green beans or your cauliflower, your vegetable. Okay, not bad. Then you have your starch, right? It's your pasta, your rice, your potato. But it's, again, the cupped hand. So now you can safely almost navigate through any meal, okay, when you know that the portions, because I always tell people it's not really about, everybody says, well, that food's good for me or that's a bad food, I'm not going to eat it. There's really no good or bad foods. There's just good portions, because there's going to be days, guys, and I'm going to tell you without a doubt, there's going to be days where you're going to have what we call so what days. And I'll use an example real quick. So let's say you have a bad day, it's an emotional day, you start eating, okay? But you like candy bars. The candy bars are 260 calories. Well, we know, because of physics, that 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories, okay? It's good for me, Bill, you guys out there. 3,500 calories right here is 1 pound. So you have that bad day at work, you have a bad day at the house, and all of a sudden you eat 10 candy bars. It's a bad day, Bill. You have 10 candy bars. So
really bad day.
Do the math. Let's do the math though. You have 10 candy bars times 260 calories per bar. That's 2,600 calories. In the big scheme of things, you didn't even gain a pound. But mentally, remember I told you how lean people lead lean lives? It's their habits. Mental habits too is very important. What happens is you beat yourself up, right? Like you went round and round with Mike Tyson. and you're like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I ate 10 bars of candy bars. I can't believe I can't stick with anything. You know what you got to say, guys? So what? It's one day. You pick it up the next meal, the next day. That's how you win at losing. If that's one of your goals, is to lose weight, that's what you focus in on. Because otherwise, believe me, you can beat yourself up. You got to focus on progress, not perfection. And that's the way you do it. Okay. That's the way you do it, because otherwise you can get caught up in that and say, oh my gosh, I ate bad today. Well, what was bad? Well, they go through it and then it's always like, you know what? If your portions were okay, it probably averaged out. And the glory of putting on muscle tissue, Bill, you're getting that afterburn. You're burning those calories up anyway. So you probably didn't even matter if you had that blowout that you thought you had. But mentally, you beat yourself up. We're trying to eliminate that. And I know a lot of your listeners out there, probably our viewers, are probably saying, okay, where's the alcohol fit? So the dietitian tells us you still use the hand, right? Get handy. However, the example is this. If you have a glass of beer or a glass of wine, you have to cut out something. Otherwise, it's calories on top of calories. So they ask you to now take away one of those starches and you can safely have an alcohol, okay? Because all calories in, calories out when it comes to that. How about desserts? Okay, the same thing. You want a piece of dessert? Go ahead. Something else has to come off. So again, we come up with the starch. I always like to talk about desserts by the 3-bite rule, Bill, right? 3 bites, guys. You have a piece of cake in front of you. 1, 2, 3. Now, I know you probably said, well, maybe they're big bites. Well, maybe they are. But the fact is, at least you didn't deprive yourself, right? Deprivation is a sure way for failure. You've got to eat to lose, guys. Don't deprive yourself. Remember, thinking that more mentality, not less. All right. The other thing is this: when you start talking about focusing on a nutrition plan, salads are great. Okay, but let's take a look at what happens to that salad, which is basically negligible amounts of calories. Okay, you got your salad bowl. What happens though? I don't know what everybody's favorite dressing is out there, but if it's Roquefort, blue cheese, yeah. What do you got? That's right. That's right. Exactly, Bill. Ranch, you name it. Even Italian, even if you have balsamic vinegar and olive oil, they all have the same principles. It's 120 calories per tablespoon, no matter what, if it has oil in it. That's what oil has. So you're exactly right. So you have your salad, you go out to dinner, and they give you a little cup this size, and you do one of these, right? So let's look at that from a pure numbers. This is all about physics and numbers. In that little cup right there, you have 4 to 5 tablespoons of salad dressing. Well, I just told you 120 calories per tablespoon. So that's anywhere between 480 and 600 calories just in the salad dressing. It takes you an hour and a half on the treadmill just to burn that off. So what do? So again, where's my fork? Okay. Do the dip, guys. Go back to the old school. You got your salad here. Here's your fork. You dip your fork in the dressing, then in your salad, then you eat. Guys, I'm going to tell you cut out 90% of your calories if you do that. So you can safely have your favorite dressing. We're not saying, hey, use fat-free dressing, use some cockamamie dressing. No, you can eat your regular favorite dressing, but do the dip. It'll save you those calories. You don't have to burn them off. And again, that's how lean people stay lean, right? So you got to be smart about that. And everybody tells me, well, what about reading labels? There's something simple I usually do in my seminars. If you can't read it, don't eat it. That's as simple as that, guys. If it's right out of junior's chemistry set, you look at reading the labels and the ingredients are things you can't pronounce. Well, it's a safe bet your body can't adjust to it either. Okay, so if you can't read it, don't eat it. It's as simple as that, right? So that's a kind of an overview, a simple overview. But thinking about this, guys, it's not what you do really some of the time that counts. It's what you do most of the time. All right. And I want you to really hone in on that. So again, there's going to be days where you just can't be healthy, whether you're traveling, where you're doing this, you're having family functions. It's okay. It's okay. Eat what you're going to eat in portion controlled manner. And guess what? Go for a walk after dinner and you'll be fine. And we know during the week, if we adjust and do a little bit of strength training, a little bit of cardio, that's the best possible way you're going to succeed. And, it will happen. It's pure physics why this works, Bill. So that I hope everybody kind of got a glimpse of the way that you can construe and design a program. and design a program that's realistic for real people who have real jobs, real schedules, real families, but want real results. And I think that's, the key to lifetime of living lean, living healthy and strong. And I just tell everybody out there that they have the power to take health into their own hands, and they have the power to prevent disease, Bill. I truly believe that, and to help your body to discover, what it means to feel its best. And every day you have that power within you to change, and that ability. And so, I hope that makes sense to people, long term. And like I said, it doesn't take much. Your body will respond. You don't have to torture your body for your body to respond. So I hope that kind of hits home to a lot of people. And I think, you have to respect your body. You have to fuel your body. You have to challenge your body. You have to move your body, guys. But most importantly, you have to love your body, right? And there's that mental aspect again, right? Don't beat yourself up. You can do this, okay? Remember the towel, right? You can throw in the towel, or you can use it to wipe your face with it. And I think that's the key. So, Bill, I hope that made sense to everybody, or at least somewhat.
Well, I really appreciate, Jamie. I have to tell you that my favorite saying that you had was the one that reminded me of Confucius say. Well, I think you said something along the lines of, if you don't make the time for health, then you won't be healthy. Is something like that?
Yes, I coined this about 10 years ago. He who has no time for his health today will have no health for his time tomorrow.
I love it.
You have to put that time in, guys. And remember, we talked about it. Everybody has that time. So we're just talking about, if you just talk about 8 minutes, well, there's 86,400 seconds in every day. We all got the same time zone. If we're talking about 8 minutes, that's 480 seconds. You guys can do this. And Bill, like I was saying, it's not just every exercise that'll work. I truly believe, because of the time factor, you want the optimum program in the least amount of time. So without further ado, get off your seat and get on your feet, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm using this as my weight, but I want to show you guys how we do this. And I usually do, there's 16 moves and there's 30 seconds. Now we're not going to do the full 8 minutes, but I just want to show you how simple and easy these moves are. And we go over the whole body, and you can just replay this over and over again. So what happens is, our first exercise is a kettle swing. So we want to get the body ready for the workout. So you clasp those weights together, or mom's tomato paste, and that's a kettle swing. So you're working your abs and your shoulders and your legs. You're getting that heart rate to, pumping and thumping. Then we do a shoulder press, okay, with a little side step right there. Okay, so now you're working your shoulders and a little bit of your lower body. Okay, then we do a high knee, so you're getting those hip flexors, and we're doing a fly. So a chest fly, like you're hugging a tree. So you're working your outer pectorals right there. Then we do a lateral raise with a step back. Okay, a lateral raise works the medial portion of your shoulders right here, your deltoids. Okay, ladies, that's great. It's almost like if you remember wearing a shoulder pad in your suits, this will do it naturally for you. So it really sculpts the shoulder muscle. Then, either on a wall or a chair or a bench, you do a push-up, okay, a push-up with a butt kick, right, left. Push-up, down, right, left. So now we're working your buns, your chest, a little bit of your abs, your shoulders, and your tricep. Boom, down, right, left, okay? So you can see how this is kind of designed where you're working your whole body. You're not stopping. So now you do a bicep curl with a alternating lunge. So you just want to lunge forward. Make sure your knees line up over your toes. Make sure your knees don't go past your toes. Sort of like a fencer, you guys, just like this, right? A fencer. So right there, boom. Then knees are bent. Keep your abs nice and tight. Now you do an ab twist. Now that's the 7th exercise. We're going to do 16 moves in these 8 minutes, okay? Good. So now you put those down. You take the chair. You're going to do a squat motion with an outer hip raise. Squat, outer hip. Boom. You do your right side. You come over. Squat, do your left. So you see this is the way this is designed. It's constant movement, okay? So then you take the weight again. You're going to do a tricep kickback with a stationary lunge. Okay, so you're working those hips, those buns, those thighs, and you're working that flapper zapper, ladies, back there, that tricep muscle. Then we go the other side. So again, you're just lunging, we're stationary. If you want, you can use the chair as a guide for balance. That's okay. Boom. Then we're going to do a deadlift into a row. So you're here, nice and easy, knees slightly soft. That's a deadlift, hips, buns, right through here. Then you row down slow, slowly, row. So you work your back muscles. Yeah. So it's a dual movement, right, guys? So important. So again, optimum program, least amount of time. Then we go back to the push-up again. So you do a push-up. Okay, do about 4 or 5 of those. And then last one, you boom, you do a plank. You're going to hold it right there. So you work that tummy right there, guys, right? It's an isometric. And then release. So now we're getting there now. Now you do a squatting motion, shoulder press. Hips, buns, thighs, and your shoulders. Good. Now from there, accentuate the feet, 45-degree angle. You're going to do a plie squat with an upright row. So just put those hands underneath the chin, right like that. Boom. And then right from there, guys, we do a bicep curl, tricep press. So it's curl up, press back. So really, you're doing 30 seconds of each movement. And believe it or not, guys, 16 moves at 30 seconds, guess what? It gives you 8 minutes. And I've got to tell you, we've helped millions of people lose millions of pounds and inches doing these workouts, Bill. And we've had like 83 million views on YouTube, which is a crazy number. And it's good because it's the time is the biggest factor. So we know that. And really, guys out there, you know, every day is really, it's another chance to get stronger and fit and really be the best version of you. You got to eat better. You got to move a little bit, and you have to have that mind shift, right? No more diet mentality. You can do this. Trust me, you can do this. So, and again, I hope that helps people think and reshift their mind. But I will tell you this, Bill, I want to warn people that exercise has been known to cause great health and great happiness. So, you know, that I can tell you. You feel good when you do this, guys. You feel empowered. You know, Jack LaLanne, I'm telling you, he had it best. He was way ahead of his time. I've learned so much from him. He's a mentor of mine, right? But you know, you change your thoughts and you change your world, really. What you think is reality. And Jack was teaching that back in the 50s. And then he just did it for 33 years. And I can just tell you, you know, in my own life, but you know, sweat, you gotta move a little bit. Nobody drown their own sweat. And, you know, to me, sweat is like magic, right? You cover yourself in it daily and it sort of grants you your health wishes, don't you? So, you know, you gotta move a little bit, guys. You can't just sit around and, you know, eat donuts all day. In fact, Jack had a great line with donuts, Bill. He said, you know, what's the best thing about a donut? It's the hole in the middle. That's right. So, you know, so again, I hope everybody kind of learned a little bit of what I think the mindset has to be for, you know, producing and designing something they can stick with, not just for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but really for the rest of their life. They got to move a little bit. They got to have a little bit of muscle tissue, right? So we want to keep that muscle active, activate that muscle on a weekly basis, and you have a really good chance for success. And of course, you can't out-train a poor diet. So we know that. We have to make sure if we eat right, you can't go wrong, right? So we have to make sure that we're eating, you know, again, mostly correct foods, not 100% of the time, but portion, right? Use your hand now as your portion guide. And I'm telling you, it's going to help you. It will control the calories the way you want, but you're still eating. You're not depriving anything. So, Bill, does that make sense?
I love it, Jamie. I can't tell you. I mean, who can't take 8 minutes out of the day? Who
Right?
can't do it? And you know what? If you go, I don't have 8 minutes right now. Do 4 of it now and 4 of it in a little bit.
Agreed.
Right? I mean,
Agreed.
and
And it just all adds up.
if you do 4 minutes 4 times a day,
I'll take that 16 minutes.
Right?
What's wrong with that?
That's
And so no, if you believe me, if something you want is there, I think the idea is you make time for it, right? You know, to me, you won't cancel on your doctor's appointment, right? They won't cancel on you, Bill. They'll circle it and say, I got a meeting with Dr. Sopcich. I think when they're day planner, they can put their exercise down, saying, okay, at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, I know I've got to walk, or I've got to go, exercise with some weights or some mom's tomato paste, whatever it might be. And they don't cancel on themselves. You deserve it, guys. Don't cancel on yourself. You don't cancel on doctors. Don't cancel on yourself. You're worth it. Believe me. And it'll make you feel good.
I was just going to say, what about getting up off the couch for every time there's commercials on TV if you're a couch potato,
Oh my gosh.
Your commercial, if you start doing exercises, think about where you'd be.
Bill, let me tell you, it's all accumulative, right? The commercial's usually 3 minutes long.
Right.
So you think about that break during a 30-minute show, you'll get in terrific shape. And that's a great point. And just do it, do some push-ups on the wall or on a chair, or do some, squatting motion. Get off the chair, the couch. Just do a couple, right? And I tell you, it adds up, and your body will adjust, and it'll definitely take shape, which is great. But activate that muscle tissue, and especially ladies, make sure you do it. Okay, again, got to focus on committing to be fit, and it'll work. It will work. So.
I love it, Jamie. I really appreciate you coming on tonight. Is there some place that they can go if they want to get more from you, or if they want to come see you? Is there a way that that they can either subscribe to something you do, or is there? Can you give them some information there?
Yeah, great point. In fact, guys, October 28th, we're launching our Fit and Delicious. Our Fit and Delicious TV show, 13 episodes, will be on PBS. And so we have an app. It's called Fit and Delicious. And if you have an Apple, iOS, Google Play, that whole thing, if you download the app, it's free to download. There's a couple workouts that are free in there, but it's only $8 a month to actually have the workouts. I've got over 100 and some workouts in there that are 8 minutes long. And then twice a week, Bill, I'm going live. They're getting me live on their iPhone. They can go on their computer, on their iPad. That it's literally, I'm their personal trainer coming right into their home. $8 a month. Are you kidding?
It's like 25 cents a day.
It's great. Yeah, look at it. Think about it like that. It's
like
nuts.
a quarter. Cup of coffee is more than a quarter,
Go to those fancy coffee places. You're going to pay more than that. So, and I just think there's a perceived value to that. I'm coming into their home. I'm with them, and we made it fair. I think we wanted to make it fair, but it was just launched literally mid last week. It's only right now on iPhones. The other one, the Android, is coming next week, but they can go to Fit and Delicious. That's FITN Delicious. Hard to spell delicious if you think about it. It doesn't sound right, but it's easy enough to go there, and they can download the app and stuff. And it's just to have that interaction and that connectivity with the audience is so important. And to know that, they'll have me as their personal trainer, if you will, for a fraction of a cost. Otherwise, they can come to Eastlake. We've got our Fit and Delicious headquarters here. We got, as you can see, we got equipment and stuff, but the cost benefit is the app a lot cheaper. So, but no, it's great. And I tell you, I have a pleasure helping people, and I truly have a passion to help people. I've been doing this for 34 years now. So it's been my life, and I don't shut it down. This is it. My wife is like, geez, Pete, give those people a break. But it's like, this is all I do. I don't know much of anything else besides this. So it's something that comes from the heart, truly. And I think that's what happened with Jack LaLanne too. He certainly had that. And I know there's been some nice comparisons sometimes, but there'll never be another Jack LaLanne, guys. Never, ever, ever. He paved the way for people like myself. That's for sure. So,
well, you do what you live, and you live what you do, right?
That's a great point, Bill. Honest to gosh, it's a great point. And, and that's very gratifying when people call me or they send photos of themselves or write to me and say, you changed my life. And just that's inspirational to me. And I'll tell you, it's motivational for me to continue offering, really good programs and realistic programs that are time oriented And I just think it fits into everybody's schedule, you know, because if somebody tells somebody who's a person that's never exercised and say, well, you've got to get an hour in each day. Well, that's not going to work. It just doesn't work. So we want to just get you started by moving a little bit. That gets your confidence level up. It builds that muscle tissue up so you feel good. And that endorphin starts to go in your mind. You go, oh my gosh, I start to feel good. So maybe instead of 8 minutes, I'll do 16 minutes today. I'll do a double set of exercises. Okay, God bless you. That's great. And you just start that mindset shifts. And that's what we want. And again, you don't have to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're not lifting huge weights, just a little, you guys, just a little. That overload principle puts that stressor. We want that muscle to hypertrophy or grow. Difference than atrophy, right, Bill? Atrophy, the muscle, it kind of withers away. And that we want hypertrophy. And ladies, you'll never get big muscles. Keep that in mind. So just do it. Just do it.
The other thing is that exercising is also going to help you sleep better. And how many people are sleeping crappy now, you know?
Oh my gosh, without a doubt. Bill, there's so many studies out that point to that you do sleep more hardly. You go into that REM mode because you're tired. And that's okay. Your body's meant to move and it's meant to rest. And but it's meant to move, because if you rest, you rust. I keep going back to that statement. And getting fit never gets old, Bill. Getting fit never gets old. So you guys, I don't care what age you are, it doesn't matter. You can still do this. Trust me, Elaine, where's that book? Well, the book is right there. Elaine is 90. She'll be 96, you guys. 96. Look at Elaine. God bless her. I'll tell you, she's amazing. And you know why? She's kept herself in great shape. And yeah, but in the spirit of Jack LaLanne, you can see Jack LaLanne in the back, that ethereal appearance of him. And that's great, because the whole idea was to kind of revamp and re-energize, you know, what Jack started. And I'm proud to be a part of, you know, even writing a book with Elaine and now a TV show with Jack in it. That's a legacy that I cherish, really, truly. And I hope everybody out there would too. And by the way, in about another 3 weeks, guys, you're going to see all 13 episodes of our Fit and Delicious. It'll be on our website. So you can just go fitanddelicious.com. You'll see all 13 episodes. I think Danny, she's got peanut butter over there now. She's doing, it's great. Her program is fantastic. She takes normally unhealthy recipes and makes them healthy. And they're tasty. She doesn't substitute taste for that. So it's really fantastic. And she's a great lady. And we're blessed to have her, truly. So, awesome. So guys, without further ado, I have to tell you, learn it, live it, lose it. You're going to love it. So let's get you started on something, guys. Just get out there and move tomorrow. Eat a little healthier. Use your hand as your portion distortion guide, and you're going to do great.
Thank you so much, Jamie. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate your enthusiasm. And we're going to get the Fit and Delicious. We're going to get some stuff from you so I can put it up in my office to let people know about it. All right?
That'd be great. All right, Bill. Listen, thanks, guys. Bye, everybody. Take care.
Take care. Thanks, Jamie.
Bye, guys.
Have a great day.